Hello, social media. Welcome to Miracle Monday. And this is Dawn Petalino, your transformational coach and best-selling author of Peace, Power, and Miracles. And Miracle Monday is where I offer you some tips and some tools, but most importantly, some truths to remind you so you can have more love and miracles in your life. And today's is dealing with uncertainty, which really isn't that like every day. But I've been speaking with a few people who it's been on a bigger level or a bigger deal in their life, some really uncertain things as far as job and health and things like that. And, I always go back to, I talk about this in my book, way back in the day when I was at a teaching position in South Carolina, and I ended up leaving that position and leaving my marriage at the end of that year. And I didn't have a plan for my life, and it was probably the biggest transition I ever did. And I moved to Charlotte, so I was hitting all three of those. And I had to take a step out on faith because I was reading the Course in Miracles at the time, and I was trusting what I was reading. And I refer back to that time a lot because here's the deal: when we're dealing with uncertainty, the reason I left the job and the marriage is because my heart, it was like my soul was like screaming to get out and just find peace. And that became my only goal, was just to find that peace. But what I was really doing was listening to my heart. And that's what the Course of Love tells us. It says that your only task is to know this relationship again, which is the relationship of, can you listen to your heart and let your capital S self be heard? And it's letting that capital S self lead the way, that higher self in us. It also says that, you are an idea in the mind of God. And this idea is found at your source, and your source is in your heart. And nobody else can tell you what's in your heart. So when we're dealing with uncertainty on an external level, we go back to our heart. We go back to what it is my heart is saying about this situation. There have been times where my mind has been very afraid, but when I check in with my body, with my heart, it feels peaceful. And that seems contradictory, but you begin to trust that. And it says, be attentive to your listening. The Course of Love says, be attentive to your listening. If you are but attentive to this listening, all uncertainty or all changes will be shown to you, and uncertainty will end. So whenever we are attending to that, just for today, what is my heart telling me? Just for today, what is it asking me to do? And we have the courage, as the Course of Love says, your only task is to know this relationship again. And we have the courage to follow that. No matter what our head is saying, I know when I step out on those leaps of faith, I hear my voice in my head and I say, nope, we're not going there. I'm not even looking at that. I'm putting on my blinders and I'm going right to here, right to my heart, and just for today. Because the things that we worry about in the future, there are variables that will be on the table in the future that aren't here today. There are many times where, whenever I left the marriage, I didn't know where I was going to live. And I ended up just following a little note card at a church I was going to and checking out this girl's house to see. And I opened the door, and there's this young girl. She was a little younger than me, but we read the same books. We had the same values. We ended up talking and becoming really good friends. And that was not on the table when I decided to leave. But I left her house thinking, I was crying because I realized how taken care of I was by the universe, by God, even before I knew what I needed. The Course in Miracles says the answer is given the moment the problem occurs. And that's why we have to begin to trust that capital S self that knows the past, that knows the present, that knows the future. And we have to begin allowing ourselves to relax into the goodness of that, to relax into, this power is love, and I'm going to trust love. And Course of Love tells us it comes down to, are you willing to trust? So today, I hope you take that in your back pocket when unexpected things happen. Rather than turning to the fearful idea, to go to your heart and to remember, I'm going to let my heart lead. And my heart is always leading me to better and more beautiful and more abundance in my life. And get curious about what's coming. If this was very helpful to you, I encourage you to share it, to like it. I also have a meditation under here, a guided meditation link, that if you would like to reconnect to that joy inside of you when you're feeling afraid, feel free to look at that. And I hope you have a miraculous Monday. Bye for now.